Fair play to Newcastle, man. You didn't even try. Fair play. I had a little rant on my other channel, and I didn't really talk about Newcastle. Didn't really do none of that stuff. You didn't even try. Didn't even flinch. You just waited and bided your time and pounced. What a disastrous performance from Manchester United in general. The fact that we can gift you goals, you're playing about. Isak didn't even need a score, says a lot in itself. Story of my life this season, isn't it? Smash the likes though, because you like to be here and whatnot. And you know what? This is late coming out anyways, but better late than never. I don't hide. Yeah, I'm not even breaking down a game. When it comes to watching my own team, breaking down the game is just long. And you know what? What can you really break down from the other side of things? You know what? Harvey Barnes' second half display destroys the low. You know what I'm saying? Tonali, Italian Stallion, same kind of headline at the moment. Jacob Murphy, nuisance, but you know, end product wasn't there as much. Dan Burn, towering figure. You know, Joe Linton, powerhouse. You know, there's so many different ways you can swing it. But at the end of the day, Eddie Howe was not even on the damn touchline, which I believe makes it even worse. Rub salt into the wounds, why not? And Amorim, for me, got everything wrong today, pretty much. I think the subs were late. I think the starting lineup was bollocks, regardless. I just don't see how you can make comments from about months ago when you beat us at Old Trafford, when you talked about the pivot of Casemiro and Eriksen, just to also therefore play Eriksen against Joe Linton, Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes, the best midfield in the Premier League alone. And you're going to go play against three physical monsters, all three that can carry the ball very well, if not great. And you want to play Eriksen, and then Agate, who's off form. And today, even if we even break down from the first goal, he was his best attribute, which is sniffing out danger. Didn't even sniff out the danger because he can't play the ball forward. He can't progress it. He needs other players to do that for him. He's too scared. Doesn't want the ball. You know, same thing. It kind of reminds me of Scott McTominay just didn't want the ball, hiding. And then before you know it, Lindelof is an absolute statue from one simple great pass, to be fair. And then it broke the lines. You know, I thought, you know what, we got into the break at halftime 1-0. Thought, you know what, maybe, just maybe, but I would make changes. I said, bring off the loan, put on Dorgu. Be positive, you know, be adventurous. Get the defensive players out the pitch, off the pitch even. Yeah, take off Eriksen because you need to take off Agate. You know, he is going to suffer eventually. Bring on Casemiro, drop Bruno, which is the best pivot going at the moment, right? Bring on Mount and Kobe potentially. And then before you know it, Xerxes injured and we have to stick on Højlund. We lost every bit of hold up or any bit of drive as soon as Xerxes come off. The fact that he's injured with a hamstring injury probably shows that he could be back if we get into a Europa League final. Sure. Great. But without him, are we even going to get there in the first place? Not really comfortable. So now he's out and he's lost. What else is there for Man United this season? You got to hope and pray for Lyon. We were talking about the game. Second half for the Toon was disaster for us, but great for them. You know, I keep praising the way Newcastle play and whatnot. It's just the way they are. They hunt in packs. They just hunt you down all game. They force you into mistakes. It's pretty much the least ideal matchup for a Manchester United team at the moment because we are spineless, disgusting, abysmal, and absolutely like a tornado has absolutely spun our heads. Like it's the confidence went in the bin. The one thing that we can rely on is a little bit in defense. And even then it's a biblical stinker, man. You know, Lindelof, I thought, get him off, man. If you're gonna play this low block crap, you might as well play Maguire. What's the difference? If you're gonna be adventurous, put Euro in the middle, put the low at the back, put someone else in the wing back. You played the Harry Amas because you felt like you probably had no choice. He was decent, but go put a few more in, then you might get something courageous. Oh man. What else is more to really say? It's just, I couldn't watch no more. After that third goal winning, I was just like, oh, I'm so done. I'm so done. And you know what? Every time I watch us and how much talent we got around the field, and how much absolutely wasteful specimens that we also have on top, it's just this. It's just nothing short of a disgrace. You got to feel for players like Bruno Fernandes. Like again, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm really not. But he's there, like looking around, thinking, who else is going to do something, please? Because he can't do it by himself. Because everyone else is rubbish. And then you can see the difference in quality and balance just by looking at the flipping Magpies. They got balance all over the field: speed, physicality, technique, IQ. Which is, I know we gave away a couple goals today. Don't get me wrong, but it was gifts. But they didn't even need to try. That's the difference. They didn't need to attack if they didn't want to. They'll just wait for Manchester United to make that mistake. Then the Nana swap. It's like, yeah, great. You know what? Probably that's what we get. We got one scrub, and then we got another guy who's just as bad as him. He's just another scrub. So they're having a scrub off in goal. Let that one sink in. Nick Pope's not great at distributing the ball. He was awful at it. Even today he was crap at it. But guess what he did? Saved. He put in good saves. That's a proper goalkeeper. We can't talk about who we're missing because they're missing players too, right? It's just that there's so long to go. I don't know how many years or how many transfer windows or what it may take, but right now it's the lowest I've ever been as a Manchester United fan. Amorim refuses to learn from his mistakes, and it's as simple as that. Keeps picking the same players, and doesn't mean I'm Amorim out before you lot get giddy and whatnot, because I still believe it's more blame on the players than the manager. But let me give you some examples, right? Let's start off with Xerxes. Xerxes plays well, continues to play well, thriving in a role. Left forward at that, benches him for a couple games, brings back Højlund. Why? Casemiro is playing out of his skin. You could say saving for Leon. Yeah, great, I know. But Agate's been stinker and hooked how many times? Why are you not playing Casemiro for at least 60 minutes? Get a good base going for yourself. Howler. Right? Eriksen. Why do you continue to start Eriksen in a couple games? Every time this guy starts, we lose. Why? Haven't learned there. Once again, dead. Right? Bruno Fernandes, clearly his best position is in the 8, playing a bit more deeper, where he sometimes has a bit of a free roam to go further up the pitch depending on the match. Why do you keep persisting him in a 10? Scrub decision. No good in a 10. Why? Garnacho doesn't score. Got a goal today. Yeah, great, whatever. But he keeps putting biblical stinkers in, not scoring, not doing the right things. Yes, he's a bit of an outlet, but he kind of showed against Lyon once you put some footballers on the pitch, you dominate the game a little bit. Why? Mason Mount is fully fit. You say you love him. Why are you not playing him? He's clearly a better suited 10 than what we've got. Why? The youth players, clearly a bit of fear, like the fearless players and whatnot. Why not move Lindelof out of the pitch and put Euro in the center? Newcastle didn't have that. Don't get me wrong. You could put Lindelof for headers, but guess what? He sucks at them. Go play Kokonki. You big them up. He's been playing. Where's Mantanto? Youth players. Talked about the youth. So why are you not playing them? Again, question mark. Why? So many different decisions baffling. Keeps rewarding players with starts, and he's not learning from the mistakes. And when he learns from mistakes, it takes about 2 months to gather that information. Again, how comes majority of fans can see this and you can't? Again, question mark. Why? And there we have it, where other teams just dominate us. We've got the worst midfield in the league. And yeah, he's been dealt a bad hand. He's probably been dealt the worst hand ever. And you know what? The Premier League season it's a wrap anyways. Like, Crystal Palace even got a game in hand. Who cares if we finish 12th or 11th? We're not catching up. These teams are better than us. And I know all the eggs are in a basket, but now Lyon's up to question, because without Xerxes, I don't know how we gather momentum if we do go down. Again, many question marks, and it's absolutely stinker and hooked. And we better hope that it's just a 3-week injury, and we better pray that Ahmad is literally fit and ready to go in the next couple of weeks if we do go through. Again, hella decisions, not enough correct decisions going our way. I'm not always going to blame what's going on in the back. Oh, you know, what looks going behind the scenes. No, the commentator clearly said what's coming out of the camp and that everything's harmonious and everything's all flowers, rainbows, glitter and all that good stuff when people are getting along. There we go. Is this an overreaction? Perhaps. But guess what? It's a build-up. It's a build-up of frustration and disgust. Anyways, he needs to do better, must do better, best be better. In a bit, smash the likes. Big up Newcastle for winning that. Make sure you beat Palace on Wednesday and take that third spot, please. I'm begging you lot. Only bit of joy this season is actually watching the team that actually, you know, wants to play their own style of football and actually play a bit of football that's regarded as attacking, but, you know, monumentous at the moment. Anyways, bye.